We are still on Highway 50 right now, and the emissions light came back on the truck. Here's the big concern is we're towing right now a heavy load and we have no resources nearby. Right now, being out here, not feeling so hot about this.
Hello?
I think I see a dealership way over there. We own a diesel truck. And with these diesel trucks, there's these new things, according to the federal government, where they put something called diesel exhaust fluid into the truck to help with emissions going into the atmosphere. That DEF system that I just mentioned comes with a plethora of problems. And today we're experiencing that firsthand. Anytime there's a minor fluke with it, the system will automatically throttle your speed after so many miles. A max speed of 55 miles an hour, eventually leading down to a max speed of only 5 miles an hour. Well, I ended up having to go rent a car because we are left without a vehicle. Being out here on the road, that is our only vehicle, and having it in the shop is anything but convenient. So I'm on my way over right now to the shop to see what kind of answers we can find. I have a lot of questions I need to ask and hopefully bring some clarification to you guys and me as well. All right, let's see what we can take away from this. I don't even know where to begin because I've heard so many horror stories when it comes to DEF systems.
Yeah.
On the new trucks, they're always going bad.
Yep.
I mean, do you feel the same way?
I do, yeah. I'm not supposed to feel that way, but I mean, they're all junk. You're making the engine eat its own exhaust all the time just for a more efficient burn that's going to come out of the exhaust anyway.
Would you say like a lot of the newer diesels, especially with the emission system,
yeah,
they're kind of almost like built to fail, so to speak, in a way compared to older diesels, right? I mean, it's just one of those things that you're going to see a lot more problems with the newer diesels, right?
Yeah, a lot of the problems I see is something in the emissions fails, and to prevent it from hurting the truck, that's when you get the D rates. That's when you get the less power. That's when you get the miles limited, all that kind of stuff. I hate it because, you know, I'm driving my truck. I feel like I should be able to do what I want in my truck.
Right.
Not be limited to a certain mile per hour. The EGR recirculates, so before it goes through the after treatment and the exhaust is what that whole like DEF system is.
What's an EGR? I'm not familiar.
So it's just exhaust gas recirculation.
Oh.
It pretty much steals exhaust coming out of the engine and puts it back into the intake.
It's almost like you're like kind of suffocating the engine a little, right?
That's 100% what you're doing. So you're not getting fresh, clean air all the time.
Is that kind of like taking a hit on the engine too? Like,
yeah,
it's definitely wearing on the engine.
It's a lot more strain. It's harder on like the turbo injectors, all that stuff, because they just have to work harder to move the same amount of air on a non-emissions truck. You know?
Interesting. A lot of things I'm wondering is it only GMC in particular, or we talk about Ford, Ram, everything across the board, are all these trucks running into similar issues when it comes to the diesel emissions?
All the emissions, you kind of group them all together. Like each different brand, they all have their different set of issues and their different set of problems. Their positives and their negatives.
Okay, so there's no way of getting around this really, basically.
Not really. No.
Yeah. So what else do you see go bad with these DEF systems? You had mentioned something like, was it NOx or?
So a NOx sensor?
NOx,
so
what is that?
It's an NOx sensor. It pretty much just detects how many like emission particles are coming from the truck. Pretty much like those things that back in the old day, they used to put the sensor in the tailpipe and it'd read all the particles coming out of it, whether you passed or failed. It's pretty much just a fancy one of those.
Pretty easy if it goes bad too?
It's easy, but it's expensive.
Can you real quick run me through the diesel system, the diesel emission system? Because you had mentioned the downpipe, and then you touched on DPF, and I want to pick your brain on that.
So you see those sensors right there?
Right here?
Yes, there's a EGT sensor, and then one of those is the NOx sensor.
Okay.
And then you have a ton of sensors throughout the system, and they all go to little computer boxes like this one right here. And that all is just information for the engine. So this can change how the engine runs, how hot it is, how cold it is, to get an efficient burn inside here.
What is this?
This is the diesel particulate filter.
Kind of give me like a layman's terms, like what is its purpose to do? Just filter out all the crap?
Yep, so it pretty much grabs all the particles and all the harmful emissions and stores it in there. Okay. So that way it's not coming out your tailpipe.
So you mentioned regen. What does that mean exactly?
So it's basically, so this gets full. And to regen it, it's burning everything out of this. couple different settings in the scan tool that you can see, and you can see the percentage of how full this is. And it calculates that with this sensor up here. So you do a lot of city driving, this gets plugged up more. Highway driving, it's a lot easier for it to regen.
Okay, because the sitting driving is stop, go,
and it can't get hot enough. Versus highway, I mean, it can get hot enough pretty quick.
So when it regens, does the engine basically builds up temperatures to burn it off?
Yeah. So exhaust gas temperatures, usually driving down the highway, you'll be about 700 degrees. During a regen, you get all the way up to about 1500 degrees.
And does the regen hurt the engine? Does that kind of take a wear and tear on the engine?
It does.
Okay.
Heat is the enemy of anything.
What are your options? I mean, can you do a forced regen if this fills up?
Yep, absolutely.
I thought I had heard an option, correct me if I'm wrong, where you could actually take this out and clean it.
Yeah, so you don't want to use like your mom's pressure washer or anything.
Okay.
That kind of rips the pleats out and destroys the filter media.
Say I want to clean this if I ever did run into something down the road where this got gunked up. How much would it cost?
So it's anywhere from $3,000 to $3,500.
Okay.
More often than not, it's about $3,500. Just because it's a lot of labor to pull it out intact, along with sitting in the cleaning tank. It has to be in that. It's like a big dishwasher specifically for these.
Gotcha.
It has to be in there for like 10 to 15 hours.
Oh, wow.
The truck outside that I had, this is at 95% full, and the truck can't regen.
Really?
Because this is too plugged up. So now we have to pull it off and get it cleaned because it can't flow enough air to get hot enough to burn out all the soot.
So this DPF it's kind of prone to plugging up. And when that happens, I mean, a dealership, I've called multiple dealerships before when I thought it was, and they're like, no, we'll change it out. But they never opt to clean it out. And I don't know if that's like a whole, I would never put you on the spot. If you want my opinion, I would just say that's them money grabbing. But
it's 100% money grabbing.
Yeah. You know, when I come to guys like you that are reputable, it seems like your options open up a lot more.
Well, dealers, they don't like to outsource things.
Okay.
And it's a high cost to get into cleaning these. And dealerships don't want to pay for that. They want to do everything in-house. They don't want to send it out. They want GM products doing GM things for GM.
Yep.
That's how they make money. And it depends on where you're living these days, but like California, they're doing a lot more like, if you touch anything with your emissions and it's not proper, they can fine you like $30,000.
$30,000? That's crazy.
It's a lot less in Utah, but it's still federally legal to tamper with emissions.
Right.
A federal officer, they see it's tampered with, depending on the severity is how they treat it.
It's so hard, isn't it?
It's a hard subject.
It's such a hard subject. Oh my goodness.
It's the world we live in, so we have to deal with it.
Absolutely.
So there's ways to make more power with all this stuff intact.
Is this another filter right here?
Yep, it is.
Wow. Lots of filters.
Yeah, so whatever burns off in here, it's kind of caught in there.
Okay.
But during a regen, it burns off anyway.
I would never hold you to it, but I love good gut assessments. If you had to guess, what do you think I could realistically get out of this truck? I'm about 115 right now.
I think with the emissions, you shouldn't have major issues till about 250.
250-ish?
50,000 miles.
Dang. I had these problems with the diesel truck, and I've owned gas, I've owned diesel. When I run into these problems with the diesel truck, I could easily tell myself, like, just go back to a gas truck, your problems will be solved. Tell me how right or wrong am I in that thinking?
I mean, you have a whole new set of problems.
Okay.
So diesels are more expensive to maintain, but your intervals are a lot further apart. Whereas gas, they're a little bit cheaper, but you're doing everything a lot closer to each other.
You buy a gas truck, you're not off the hook.
No.
It just comes with its own slew of problems.
Yep, so you have like spark plugs that you gotta change earlier. It's a lot less heavy duty. Like the transmission, they're smaller, they're not as strong. The differentials, they're smaller, they're not as strong. The front differentials, So everything's bigger on the truck to last longer.
Oh, okay.
I strongly believe a diesel engine was way better than any gas engine ever produced. Like if you're into racing and stuff, it's a different conversation.
Sure.
But for daily driving, diesel vehicles are the most efficient. They're the strongest. You get the most amount of power out of them, all that good stuff.
I gave you that code yesterday. I think it was like P02. It was like a low reductant pressure.
Yeah. So either the pump in the reductant system, which is the DEF fluid, is not pumping to the right pressure. So it's supposed to be between 65 and 80 PSI. Usually about 70 is the happy spot. So for 20 seconds, it's trying to build that pressure and it just doesn't have it. So that's the basis of the code. So I was a little nervous. It's really common for those pumps to go out in the tank.
With it being such a common thing for the pump to go, would it be, in your professional opinion, something I should get addressed sooner than later, or don't fix what's not broken?
I wouldn't mess with it because I've also seen them go 250,000 miles, no problem. And I've seen them last 10,000 miles, and it's like $1,100 just for the part. So it's not really worth it, in my opinion, to kind of swap out, because even sometimes a new part might fail prematurely. Whatever reason, they're not the quality they used to be.
Sure.
So if yours is still going strong, I would just leave it alone.
So what did you end up finding that was wrong with the truck?
So after doing a bunch of diagnostic, a common test is to, if you're holding the pressure, which it was, is to pull the def injector and see if it's leaking out of there. But I was able to find it after a couple of times testing it. The def injector is leaking. So this is the def fluid that kind of comes out and spills. And so the injector has to sit with that all the time. That's what def fluid leaves, that's the residue.
Okay.
And so that's what this little injector has to deal with, you know?
Yeah, and that actually gets gunked up, that injector?
Yeah,
okay.
so that's why it's a kind of an intermittent issue. So this is where it injects into the exhaust, just gets clogged up. I mean, it's not that big of an orifice.
Man, I could see how easily that would get gunked up with this stuff. Well, I hope you guys are learning a lot. If you guys enjoy this content, it would mean the world to us if you guys hit the subscribe button. That way it keeps us being able to release absolutely free videos for you every single Thursday. Our promise to you is that we will make it the best video that we possibly can. So we appreciate you guys for being here. We hope you're enjoying so far. I'll pop under with you here. Is there anywhere you don't want me?
Oh, you're good wherever.
All right, I'm coming.
I mean, right here, you can kind of see the injector and the buildup on it. This is the injector right here.
Okay.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
Oh, okay.
And that's
wow,
what
that is so gunked up.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And it even leaks down here?
Yes,
kinda?
this is when I was doing my leak test. Okay. This is all the residue that came out when it's supposed to be completely off.
You know, it's easy to fall victim and say this truck is like a lemon, but I don't know. This is part of owning a truck, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything I could have done to prevent this, or is this just kind of the name of the game when it comes to diesels?
This is just part of it.
Yeah, I was afraid of that, you know?
Yeah, this is just maintenance on the emissions and tag diesel. A lot of people get mad at me, but I love Duramax the most.
No one's ever gonna agree on everything. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, GMC, Ford.
They all have problems.
No one is exempt from life and dealing with struggles of life. There's no just pick this option and life just all of a sudden goes by the wayside.
I mean, just with the emissions, it's such a strain on everything. It doesn't even compute to how long they used to last.
So what's like gonna be the first thing that's gonna go on the truck? Is it just the engine that's gonna take such a beating over time that it just...
Yeah, usually the rest of the drivetrain parts, you get a similar lifespan. Especially with the Allison, they're phenomenal transmissions.
Oh, that's what I have, right?
Yep.
Allison training?
Yep, you got a nice good old Allison. It is the best transmission, I would say. They're strong. I mean, they're like twice the size of a regular transmission. So your clutches are just absolutely massive in there versus in the Dodge and the Fords, you get about half the size of clutches.
Why would, if Allison's such a good transmission, why wouldn't every truck just use Allison?
GM spent a lot of money to almost be Allison exclusive.
Back in there, isn't it?
It is up in there, and that clip is
wow,
not cooperating. So they all have these little like locking tabs on it.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a pain to get to.
So when I took a look at that low reductant pressure, and you know, you can Google all these things. And,
oh yeah.
But I mean, it's just a rabbit hole. It could be so many different things.
Yeah, a lot of people are intimidated by it.
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of this emission stuff is nothing really intimidating besides like price.
Right.
They get really expensive really quick.
Can you walk me through a little bit more of what the DEF injector is, what it does, why it's even needed?
Basically, the number one ingredient, which is like 90%, is urea. And that's pretty much fancy pee.
Does it just inject like a fuel injector only for the DEF?
Yes, exactly.
What a stupid setup, if I could say myself, that they stuck it under the hood here.
Well, like on the Dodges and Fords, they put them in the fuel filler cap.
Oh,
so you're filling up your diesel, you can put it right in the DEF. That causes its own set of issues. There's a lot of people who end up putting diesel in their DEF or DEF in the diesel. So diesel in the DEF isn't a huge deal. It's pretty easy to fix. DEF in diesel is the worst thing. You have to replace the whole fuel system. If you drive it, it is toast.
Oh, snap. Box DEF versus getting DEF at truck stops. We relied on the truck stop DEF there for a while. And it could have just been a fluke that we started running into problems. But I just want to hear your thoughts. Have you heard anything in your research on which one is better or?
So usually what I see is the box DF is a little more pure. It usually has less contaminants, which a lot of what I do see on emission systems is contaminated DEF.
You did mention the contaminated DEF.
It'll throw pretty much a whole different set of codes.
Okay.
It just kind of, it's not really effective.
And then the truck will kind of throw a fit over that?
Yeah, so it's not, pretty much the emissions just isn't cleaning it how it's supposed to be cleaned.
Gotcha.
And that's when you start to run into those kinds of issues.
Because when you think about a truck stop, you would think, wow, it's such high turnover for that fluid that runs through those systems.
Yep.
And it's always got to be fresh, but maybe that's not the case all the time, huh?
No, so the storage tanks they live in, build up with rust and water and whatnot.
I've heard from some friends that the diesel tanks try never to fill up when you see the gas stations getting refueled by the big truckers.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that gunk that's on the bottom will get stirred up into the diesel.
Yep. That's the reason why pretty much every vehicle needs a fuel filter, but especially on diesels, because the size of the injector ports are microscopic. Even a grain of sand is too big to go through an injector.
What? That's crazy.
Microscopic levels of clearances. And most injection systems see about 25,000 PSI at wide open throttle. Finally
Nice.
got it.
Nice work, man. I gotta give it to you, man. That's uncomfortable to be laying on the ground like that. You do this a lot?
Oh yeah.
This is the weirdest thing to say, but automatic transmission fluid is the best fuel additive for a diesel.
Really?
So putting automatic transmission fluid into the fuel tank is the best thing you can do. Another one is two-stroke oil. So two-stroke oil is similar.
Okay.
I just like ATF a little better because it's got a little more detergents in there to help lubricate all the injectors, lubricate the injection pump, all that kind of stuff.
Did you just find this on your own research, or how did this? Yeah,
just,
that's crazy.
Through research, testing, all that kind of stuff.
So it is pretty important that you at least put some kind of additive.
Yes.
You recommend that highly for diesels, all diesel trucks.
So there's plenty of products out there, and I have some here that I'll
Okay.
show you. Hot Shot Secrets is a great company, and they make a good product.
Nice. I love your American flag. That thing is so cool.
Well, thank you.
Where did you order that from? That thing is massive.
So I don't know if you've ever heard of Follow the Flag. They're a pretty big group out here. They have the world's largest free-flying flag. And so I know the organizers, and I work on their fire truck they use. They hooked me up with that. So that flag is the same size as like Camping World flags. So when you're driving down the road, you see one of those massive big American flags, that's about the size of it.
That's so cool.
It's been a while since I did this new of a DEF injector. A lot of the ones that go out are on the Rams.
But even those, I don't see a tremendous amount of. So this guy is coolant cooled. So we have the actual DEF coming in here,
Okay.
and then a little bit of coolant right here. We're definitely gonna drip a little.
Is this a newer injector you're putting in, or is it basically just replacing the same injector?
So it's replacing the same one.
Okay.
But it's OEM GM.
So this is coolant coming out right now, right?
Yep. All right.
Why would a DEF injector need coolant? You said
It gets really hot. So during the regen, on the low end, it's like 1,500 degrees. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times it could be like 2,000.
So these parts are susceptible to maybe burning up if they didn't have the coolant?
Heat is what kills a lot of things.
Okay.
So as long as you can minimize heat,
Yeah.
that is everything you need to make a truck last forever, Yeah, so now that guy's got the coolant flowing through it again.
Okay.
We can get to the actual DEF injector, and this is just a quick connect hose.
When you ran the test initially to test for this being a bad injector, what
Yeah.
were you specifically looking for? Was it the leaking?
Yeah, so leaking out of this port right here. And
That was the dead giveaway.
yeah, this has got a ton of buildup on it too.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help its case either, but
Right.
if it leaks at all, it's bad. One drop could come out and that's it, it's done.
When we're towing, we actually use our exhaust diesel brake system on the truck. Does that chew up through more of that DEF?
No, so this turbo is called a variable geometry turbo.
Okay.
A VGT turbo. And so it has little like veins that can it pretty much makes the turbo smaller or bigger. It's kind of a cool little system.
Oh, very cool.
And so when you're using that exhaust brake, you're pretty much restricting how much exhaust can go through that system. And so that slows the engine down.
Yeah, I gotta say, I found you through Google, and your Google reviews were impeccable. You are killing it, man.
That is all I strive for.
You know, I don't know if it's just us in our travels, but it seems like there is just such a need for diesel mechanics, reputable ones out on the road. They are hard to find.
Yeah, yep.
California, like Southern California, all we had to rely on was the dealership. It's just fascinating that one little piece, one little intricate piece can throw off this whole system. It is like the human body, literally. You know, when we were working in the ER, it's just one little simple thing. Like you could get chest pain and it could all just be because maybe you had a bad diet that night. All of a sudden it's mimicking all these things of like heart attack or just all the worst case scenarios, but it's never the case. Once you deep dive, it could be something very small.
I see diesels as almost living. All these intricate parts that work together in such a manner.
So that's like just a cleaner, just to clean off some residual?
Yep, so this is just brake clean. It's really good at just dissolving a lot of contaminants, and it dissolves relatively quickly. But man, oh man, does it stink.
Kind of what you have to do on the scan tool.
Oh yeah, that one's nice, man.
It's a good one.
It's not the fanciest, but
The fanciest is also like $12,000. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll turn the key on and it pretty much will read everything for us.
So this guided you to the fuel injector basically, right?
So there's a system that kind of works in hand with this. It's pretty much, it's called all data. So there's this test, these two results. And then it's kind of like a Christmas tree. It just goes out from there. It reads every system on here. So you got one for front video display output signal, the front camera.
Oh, okay.
But if it's working, it could just be an old code too. Yeah, history DTC, which is just an old code, which we'll clear that while we're here.
Sweet.
Might as well. Clear all the codes.
Oh, look at that.
And so it does turn on a couple of lights as it does it, just because the truck thinks there's a problem, but there's not really, so then it goes away. So now we'll go to engine. So you can see we have the NOx sensors reset.
Okay, yeah.
So we are gonna reset all those. And then we have the reductant system leak test. So this is the main one I used. So right now we have the reductant pressure PSI, and the one right above it, that 72 is what it's asking for.
Okay.
So we'll turn the pump on, and as you can see, it jumps up and goes to about where it should be. It's not gonna be exact just because
Okay.
it kind of has to modulate that pressure internally.
Sure.
But as long as it's between 65 and 80.
Okay.
Which is exactly where it's at. So before we were closer to 60-ish, and then it'll set that code if that condition lasts for more than 20 seconds. So that's how the computer knows there's an issue,
Interesting.
which led me to believe there is a leak in the system. There's nothing visible. All right, so we're gonna reset the reductant system data just to give it a fresh start. OEM oil filter, and then full synthetic 1540.
Easy
That
enough.
is- Shell Rotella T6 is
That's the way
tried
to
and
go.
true.
Should I be running full synthetic from here on out?
Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
honestly.
Okay. Like when you go synthetic, you don't necessarily have to stay synthetic forever?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
So they, you know, you get a lot of the old wives' tales like, oh, your engine's not leaking, you put full synthetic oil, it's gonna leak.
Baloney. World has no lack of baloney out there, you know?
So AC Delco is just genuine GM. So Ford is Motocraft for their parts and Dodge is Mopar.
OEM original equipment
original equipment manufacturer.
manufacturer, okay. So it's pretty much your standard, no matter what. It should be anybody's standard that you would want to get OEM parts.
Yeah.
As much as you can. You don't want to cheap out on this stuff.
Nope. I've been burned on some aftermarket fuel filters. There was a film crew coming through town, and they needed to be on the road that night. The only thing I could get that night was a set of aftermarket filters, and they made it like 10 miles down the road, and the filters just failed.
What?
We'll see how dirty the oil coming out is.
Yeah.
A lot more emissions intact trucks with them burning a lot more soot. The oil gets a little blacker.
Okay, is that true? Okay.
Yeah.
I always wondered, does black mean bad necessarily?
No.
Okay.
I mean, even pre-def, some of those trucks, you fill it up with brand new oil, 10 miles down the road, it's black again. And it's the kind of black that like really gets on your fingers and stains you a little bit.
Is there like micro fragments? Like sometimes when a diesel works, does some of those metal fragments, does that get caught up in the oil?
So
or?
there is a little bit of
Okay.
like microscopic metal. Machine parts move.
Okay.
You're gonna have a little bit of wear. It gets a lot more of soot particles because coal, soot is just unused power. So you have all that power that you're just not using, unburnt fuel. So soot is just the black stuff that comes out of the exhaust. With the EGR and it burning, it comes back into the intake and into the combustion chamber. And so it burns it and a little bit's gonna get into the crankcase and
Okay.
that's how it gets really black.
So driving and towing, we're always towing. This is going to be putting a lot more stress on the engine and oil.
Yep.
Okay.
You're working it a lot more. So
Okay.
like your intervals, like GM says you can go 5,000 to 7,500 miles. I'd keep it close to that 5,000 miles just because you're working it. It's a work truck.
You rely more on mileage rather than time.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if it's over tightened or not. Oh, perfect. Nasty stuff.
When you over tighten, what's the biggest concern there?
You could strip out the threads.
Okay.
And then realistically, the right fix is to change out the oil pan.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, which on a diesel is a lot harder than most vehicles. Yeah, this is really thick and black. No, so what you're looking for is you don't want any like glitter or sparkle in the oil, which this is just black, so that's perfect.
What does glitter and sparkle represent?
Engine wear.
Oh.
Like it could be your engine bearings, there's a lot of bearings like crankshaft, camshaft, rod bearings.
Okay. You know, I've heard some people say like do your oil changes 3,000, 5,000, 7,000 like you mentioned. You know, we kind of touched on that. Does it come to a point where you're almost wasting your money because you're changing too frequently?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
It really just depends on what you're using the truck for. If you're working it hard, you want to go on the smaller side of intervals. It really just depends on the conditions. Like Ford, a lot of their intervals are for not extreme conditions. And to Ford, an extreme condition is stop and go traffic.
Oh.
So if you sit in traffic a lot, they consider that an extreme condition.
Interesting.
So now we'll make sure this guy goes in. And then I'll show you the official torque spec here.
Okay, sweet.
So you go till it's tight and you just snug it up. And that's about it. And I'm not holding the end of the handle. I'm holding it right about here. Tight is tight on drain plugs. You don't need to crank it out too much or any of that stuff. Now, a lot of people use clean oil. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter because it's not getting filtered. It's just for lubrication. Make sure that's a little cleaner. And then just thread this guy on.
So that brake cleaner just strips all that oil right off?
Yep.
Nice.
So it's really good at dissolving it. But yeah, you saw how strong it is. But this is the California compliant one, so.
Really?
It's a lot less tame than the old stuff used to be.
Wrong with me yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we just got to make sure to fill it back up. You can do some sketchy stuff, but you cannot forget to fill it up.
Yeah, right. Would it like seize up or?
It depends on how bad your engine already is.
Okay.
But it could seize up, it could make a rod knock, which sounds like knocking in the engine.
Not good.
Not good at all.
And I mean, honestly, what you're changing your oil with isn't super important. Intervals.
Oh, the
how
intervals,
long?
yeah,
How
yeah.
long you go in between oil changes.
That makes sense.
That's really the most important thing.
I didn't get a chance to ask you about idling diesels. What is your thought on that? I heard like when you cold start them, you want to get in and drive immediately to kind of let some of the...
So the best warm-up procedure is extremely light driving. You start it, you let it idle for like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and then just slowly take off. So that's where I think like Dave's Auto Center messed up in saying that.
Yeah.
He kind of just said, get in and go.
Okay.
Don't even wait. It's just like with your intervals, there's different conditions that require different
100%.
possibilities.
Let's say like a long day of towing, heavy mileage and all that. Should I let it kind of cool down, have a cool down cycle? Like if you were to go for a run, you kind of do a little cool down jog. Is that the same thing that's applicable to diesels or do you?
Like it's 100 degrees outside, you don't want to just turn it right off, but you know, you're coming off the freeway, you got like a 10, 20 minute drive into the campground you're staying at or hotel or wherever. I think that's a reasonable cool down, but like getting right off, turning it off, I wouldn't do that.
Okay. All right, worked great.
They're the best wipes ever. But they advertise that these are skin safe. So the mic a little.
Sweet.
Hey, should be good.
All right, no need a shower tonight. We're good.
I know, right? Make sure it starts up. Wait for it to go through all its system checks.
Sounds good.
It's good. Hood's
Nice.
open, obviously, but all right. So no leaks, which is
Sweet.
good. Yeah, this service is done.
Nice work, man.
So normally it's $200 for an oil change. We're gonna do that for 150.
Okay.
Give you a little bit off.
I
Tire
appreciate
rotation, we're just gonna take off. That'll save you another $50.
Geez, man, thank you.
Yeah, of course. And you do have a year-long warranty on that injector.
Oh,
So
okay.
if anything happens in a year,
Cool.
and wherever you are, you know, I'll make sure you're taken care of.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Okay, so with tax, we are $533.47.
Are you 533?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yep.
I don't even want to venture to say what it would be at a dealership by now, but
You'd probably be like $1,200 at least.
thank you so much for
'Cause
taking care of me, man.
Dealerships are like $250 for a full synthetic oil
Yeah.
change, which is crazy to me. Spot for it. So.
That's cool. I don't know if you like really accept tips at all. Do you accept tips?
I mean, yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's
No. You take care of me. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate this.
What an absolutely amazing experience. Hats off to Caden here at Husky Diesel Performance. Here's our promise to you guys. If you enjoy this video, I have 2 more videos on the screen that I absolutely know you will benefit from. Click on one of those videos, go get some more information, hang out with us for a little bit longer. You guys mean the world to us, so we want to thank you for being here. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you over there.